Hello, welcome along, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. And here today we have pack 18 now of the Hachette 1/32 scale Lancaster Bomber B.III, and this actually builds up into a Dambuster. It comes on a stand and everything, it's beautiful. If you want to join in, you can have a look at this here. You can go and click on that QR code, or you can go to the website as shown below and across the bottom of the page there. And there's also a place you can go to in the description below this video. You can go and watch a YouTube video and see the model all built up and see all its working features and everything. I will say at this point, the model that they show is a prototype. It has no dihedral in the wings, which is something Hachette have promised they're going to sort out. So if you do subscribe, you will get the little gifts and that they send you with each with the deliveries as they come out. So with the I think it's with the first or the second delivery, you get the metal plaque that goes on the wall, then you get the wooden pen, then you get the binders, and then with this one, this is the 5th delivery, you get this beautiful little 144 scale die-cast Lancaster. You can see it's a Dambuster, and very nice it is too. You can see the little gun turret on the back there. We've got a cover over the front turret for some reason. I think this was actually a Grand Slam, and they've actually added a piece to make it into a Dambuster. But there we go. So there we are. So that's a nice little model to stick on top of your telly just to look at from a distance, isn't it? So pack 18, let's have a look at what we've got in here. We'll have a look through the magazine. All of these videos I do them fresh. I haven't rehearsed them, I haven't seen the magazine, I don't know what's in here. So it's as big of a surprise to me as it is to you. So we have our parts there, we can put those over there out of the way, and then we can have a look at the magazine. So if you haven't already had a look as well, I've got another playlist going for the Lancaster Bomber Hachette Revisited. So basically I'm going and just changing some colours, adding some seat belts, and little bits and pieces like that. So go take a look at that one as well. I think you'll enjoy what you see. So in the magazine here, as per usual, we have, there's our model as it's going to be on its stand and everything. Got the contents of the magazine, contact details and everything. And here we have the contents of this pack. You can see we're adding even more length to the fuselage now. So the Radon Cologne 1942, oh dear, this was terrible. The head of Royal Air Force Bomber Command Arthur Harris mounted Radon Cologne to prove the potency of strategic bombing. Yes, it was terrible, absolutely terrible, completely annihilated that city. So yeah, terrible. A total of 1,040 aircraft took off from the British airfields on the evening of 30th of May 1942. And then raids on Essen. Well, this is full of cheeriness, this one, isn't it? Raids on Essen, March 1943. The RAF launched an offensive against the Ruhr, with the city of Essen being singled out as a high priority target. You can see there the devastation that's been caused. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And then here we've got some more cheery information. We've got the Sterling. So you've got all the is that incendiaries, or is that what they call them? So yeah, you've got the Sterling bomber there, Sattler undercarriage, very, very funny looking aircraft. Huge, great thing up in the air to allow the bomb bays to be loaded. Bomb bays in the wings, very short wingspan, and a very unusual looking, it's a very unyielding looking airplane, I reckon, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And here you can see on the back here, coming in issue in pack 19, we're starting on engines. So there we go. So more of that in a second. So here we go, we've got our parts here in pack 18. We're going to put the light on because we're looking at parts now. So we'll get this box open, get our parts out, put the box in the recycling, and then we've got the parts here wrapped in tissue. So there's the tailplane spar cover, there's the walkway, or the crawlway for the rear turret gunner, and then we've got two little packs of screws there. We've got CM and DM, so be careful not to get them mixed up because they look very, very similar. So let's have a look at what we've got in here. Also, once again, it looks like we have tapped holes. Are they tapped or no, they're just drilled, they're not tapped. Okay. Because it's amazing when you look on here, we've got tapped holes again. We had tapped holes up here, we've got tapped holes again. I wonder if they're watching my videos. Interesting. So what we're doing here, we're going to take this tailplane support and we're going to take this piece here, and that's going to go over like that, and then those screws, those CM screws, so that's a nice tight fit. This is all metal, this. So those CM screws there, make sure you get the right ones. They are going to go into here. So there's one. Grab another one. That's going to go into there. Yeah, they were just drilled, they weren't tapped, so that's nice and securely in there. And then what we're going to do, we're going to get this. Now, what I've done here, I'm going to repeat myself here for the 4th time, and this will be the last time, guys, I'm sorry. So, what you can see here, we have a complete fuselage assembly that just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. And as you can already see here, coming up in the next part, we're going to start working on engines. And I know that after, I think part 22 or something, we're working on undercarriage. So it could be a couple of months before we come back to the fuselage. So with this is leaving us this great big huge piece that we have to keep stored and keep protected from dust. So what I've decided to do is keep them as separate parts. So I've got, here's the rear section, here's the main spar section, and here's the front fuselage section. So we've got all those 3 parts separate, so I can keep those in a box, and it'd be easier to store them than it will be to store a great big long thing. You can see how big this would be, you know, with that in there like that, and now adding this on the back of here as well, it's going to be something like 650 millimeters long. So it's longer than an A2 cutting mat. So what I've decided to do is keep these parts separate. If you go back to pack 14, that's where you fit this rear fuselage. So all we've got to do is, when it comes time and we need to have it all together, we can get this and we can put that in there. There's 3 screws that go up underneath. We can fit the main spar, and there's 3 screws going in there underneath. So that's it. Okay, so that's my advice. If you don't want to do that, it matters not. It's just going to be easier to store it when it comes time. The other thing is, when you look here, we need to turn it over. So you can imagine having this to turn over is quite simple. Okay, I'll keep breaking these ammo bins off because they're not glued in, because I'm going to fit them properly when I do my revisited video. But it's easy to turn this over, but you can imagine that whole thing, especially if you had all the antenna fitted, you've got your guns to snap off, all sorts of bits and pieces. So what we're going to do is just do it like this. So we've used the CM screws, so they're going there. Now we've got DM screws, so we can get a couple of those out. They always give us a spare, which is nice. There we go, so they've come out. And then we're going to get a screw on our screwdriver. As I say, the holes are already tapped, so we don't need to do any thread cutting. And then this is basically going to go like that. So rather than turn the whole thing over, I mean, we can. I'll pull that post out of there so it doesn't get snapped off. We can put that there like that. And then drop a screw into there. You can see that is tapped. You can see how easy the screw's going in. It just makes absolute sense to tap holes rather than not have them tapped. Now, I don't know if this is going to be Hachette policy from here on in, but for some reason on these parts they have tapped them. There we go. So you can see now, even just this piece on its own, I mean, it'd be worth taking these screws out. But you can see this is absolutely huge on its own. I mean, just this piece is 430 millimeters long. So you can see storing it, especially if you're living in a little flat or something, it's not going to be easy. So there we go. So that's pack 18 done. I'll put these parts back in so you can see how it looks, because that's only fair. but obviously, as I say, I haven't glued them in because I'm going to be doing some repainting. So there we go. So that's how your rear end's going to look, and if you've done it as per the instructions, your spar will be sat on there like that, and then you'll have your forward fuselage on here. So there we go. You can see by the size of my hands how big this thing is. Right, so I'll see you all soon. That's that for a little while. I've got to wait now for the 6th lot to come through, and we're going to be making a start on the engines. So thank you for watching. As I say, don't forget to go and have a look at my revisited build series. I think you'll enjoy that. And if you want to go and do those mods to yours as well, they're all fairly simple little mods to do. I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.